the past few build guides I've done, I've been videos showing options for builds for the player character. I gave 2 options for that. And then I've also done a video that shows an amazing build for Shadowheart. Check that out if you haven't seen it. So I thought I may as well look at some builds for other companions, make a video about each of them. Can we make them better? And if we can't make them better, mechanically better, can we at least make them more fun? A little bit more unique sort of thing. Today we're going to be looking at lae'zel, the Githyanki Fire, chosen of Vlaakith. This one's a bit hard actually. Reason being, everybody knows that straight fire without any multiclassing is already one of the best builds in the game. And building lae'zel as a straight fighter all the way to level 12 with a great sword and the great weapon master feat, it's an incredible combination and allows you to surge into combat, unleashing a frankly offensive number of attacks in a turn. Other than the fact that it's already so good, there's a big problem when you're trying to make a build with fighter, and that's that you really want all 3 of the extra attacks you get by going to fighter 11, which is something that's unique for the fighter class. No other class gets 3 attacks in 1 turn just as an ability. There's only one other way of doing that, which isn't very thematically appropriate for lae'zel, which is taking levels in Warlock Pact to the Blade until you get that class's extra attack feature, because that, and I believe this is unintended because even though they haven't fixed it yet, it doesn't work this way for any other class. That extra attack with Warlock Pact to the Blade actually stacks with the extra attack from any of the other martial classes like Ranger or Paladin, you know, all the ones you get at level 5. And that includes Fighter, so if you went Fighter 5, Warlock Pact to the Blade 5, and you get extra attack from both, you would get 3 attacks in 1 turn. Which technically gets you 1 level earlier than intended with going straight to Fighter 11, where you get the improved extra attack feature, which makes your extra attack now be 2 extra attacks in 1 action. So, if we're making a build for lae'zel, we want to get all the way to 11, for sure. So, what's this video going to be about? Because you have 1 more level to go, and you get a feat at that level with Fighter 12 usually. So, is there any other class that we can take a 1 level dip in where it actually makes the build more interesting and better? I think it definitely makes it more interesting. I think it's still great. It's really up to you if you think the extra feat is better. We'll get into that after I run through the build a little bit, but let's just get on with it. Let me show you the build. Man, I wish there was a sprint option in this game, good lord. We're in game, let's get started. So, we're going to take fighter up until level 6, just like normal, basically. So let's just run through this really quick so we don't mess about. First of all, great weapon firing. We're going to be using a big boy weapon for sure in this build. Ability scores, let me cover this one real quick. So we're going to want to go all the way to 17 for that. We're going to want 14 dex, we're going to want 16 con, then put the last 2 points in wisdom. The reason we're going to 17 strength rather than 16 like normal is because with our first feat choice, we're actually going to get that to 18 and get a nice little boost with it as well. I don't know why I'm branching this like a fucking magical wand or something. Whatever. Let's put that down. You could, if you wanted to, go 16 strength, put another 2 points in intelligence. But really, I've played through a whole campaign with lae'zel, and you really don't need the extra 2 points in intelligence. Wisdom saving throws are by far the most common in the game. So level 2, we got action surge. Skipped over that. Level 3, fire. We're getting our subclass of Battle Master, and there's a lot of good choices here. We're going to end up with a lot of these. If you are doing this from level 1, you know, you're building this like normal. Trip attack is great, riposte is great, riposte, whatever, and something like disarming attack is also super useful. Level 4 now, this is when we get our first feat. So this is what I'm talking about when I say we can pick up something here that will get our strength to 18. Just like if we went 16 strength from the start and then picked up an ability score improvement, I thought, you know, we're going to be picking an ASI here anyway to get to 18. Why not just pick up 17 strength and then pick up a half feat, which if you haven't played D&D before, half feat refers to a feat that gives you an ability score improvement anyway, usually a +1. There's 2 choices here. I think both of them are excellent. Athlete is the first one. We get to increase our strength with that one. Your jump distance increases by 50% with this one, which ends up meaning that with such a high strength that you get with this build, you're going to be jumping really far and it's really fun. I think Heavy Armor Master is probably the more optimal choice. It increases your strength by +1, but more importantly, it decreases incoming damage from non-magical attacks by 3 every single attack, which really adds up, especially early on, which is why I actually think this is the best one to go for if you're playing this from the beginning, because at the beginning of the game, -3 to all incoming damage is a lot when you've got like 30 hit points, for example. So let's go carry on. Level 5, Fighter's most important spell, extra attack, flinging your sword more. We also get Misty Step here as a cantrip for as a Githyanki, which is obviously super awesome to have in a fight to reposition yourself. And then the reason we're staying with Fighter's level 6 so we can get our next feat, which is, you guessed it, Great Weapon Master. The reason I go for this after the other ASI is because the -5 to attack rolls you get with Great Weapon Master is much less important when you are already at 18 strength. That's where we're going with that. Now, let's get on to our one multi-class dip that we are going for in this build. It's Cleric. And you might say, why? Why Cleric? She's not a devout Christian woman. Well, it's for a very specific reason. First of all, let's just go in order here along the left. For cantrips, definitely just pick some out of combat utility stuff. Guidance is obviously amazing, Light's obviously amazing, Produce Flame's obviously amazing. We're not really going to be wanting to use any of these in combat because they all use actions, and frankly, the 2 or 3 attacks we're going to be doing with our action is so much more important. So just pick these 3, frankly. There's no other ones that are useful. I guess if you're playing this as a main character, Thaumaturgy is useful, because you can do that before charisma checks in dialogue, so that could be useful if you're playing the main character, to be honest. And then the domain, we're picking War Domain. It's not only is it giving us some great stuff feature wise, but it's the one that fits lae'zel. And then obviously for deity, we're picking Vlaakith. You may say, you know, you get to the point in the game, spoiler alert, that she's not really Vlaakith's biggest fan anymore, but that doesn't mean that Shadowheart suddenly isn't a Shah worshipper class-wise anymore. The character sheet still says she worships Shah. It doesn't suddenly change to something else or disappear. So, if it's the case for Shadowheart, as far as I'm concerned, we can do that with lae'zel as well. Whatever. And then for Spellbook, I think, you know, if we're staying thematically on point here, we kind of don't want to pick anything like Bless or Guiding Bolt or something like that, or a healing spell. That's not really up lae'zel's alley. But there's one that I'm going to pick that is, frankly, too good to pass up here, and that's Sanctuary. If you're not aware of how good Sanctuary is, you've been missing out. As a bonus action, you can cast it on yourself or an ally within 18 meters of yourself, and that person cannot take any damage unless it's from an area of effect thing. You just can't get much better than that, to be frank. We're going to have a lot of stuff that's really useful to use in our bonus action. You could just throw Sanctuary on a teammate, you know, that's just cast haste on you, and then their haste will just remain up because they can't be knocked out of concentration. It's just amazing, you know. And with the combination, if you use this build in combination with the Shadowheart build that I showcased in the video, the last video I uploaded, that means you could have Sanctuary up on half of your party, which, when you're trying to, you know, create a tank sort of character, which this one really fills that role, it's really useful to essentially force your enemies to attack 1 or 2 of your party, because it means that the squishier members of the party don't need to do that anymore. Anyway, and then after that, we carry on with Fire. While we go through this, I'm going to tell you about the other most important thing, and I'm going to put it on the screen while we do this. The main other thing that we got from War Cleric, and that is the War Cleric ability, which is basically you can just do another attack with your bonus action 3 times per long rest, which is obviously incredible. It's not very often that you get such a powerful ability at level 1 of a build, right? And it's a perfect balance for this build, because you have 1 level to spare. Let's talk about how it actually works, and then we'll actually, you know what, let me just get into a combat scenario and then we can show you how it works. Okay, so here we are. I'll show you the equipment we've got on real quick. I've got some good stuff, some late game items, but realistically this build doesn't get too much better or too much worse from having some items and not having other items. For example, I've got a pretty late game greatsword here, which adds a d6 of psychic damage, but there's plenty of other items that add another d6 of damage from something, right? The gloves I've got here, the flawed Helldust gloves, still add the fire damage, so just use those. And then I've not even got that great of an armor on. It gives us 19 AC, which we could get armor that goes higher than that, right? Same with the boots. These are pretty early on. The helmet's pretty late game, but other than that, you know, these are things that you can get. This bow is not even... I only have this so that I can cast haste if I need to, but I don't need to most of the time because I have a spellcaster for that. And there's a bow that you can get pretty much immediately in Act 3 when you go to Damon, and he has that, a different bow that gives you actual full 10 turn haste rather than the celestial haste as well. So yeah, and I don't even have any ring slots or a cloak slot fitted. There are some rings that you can do that will increase your damage even more, and I don't have those. So this build can get better is what I'm saying, and you're about to see how much damage we can do with it just as it is. So basically, the way that combat will work here, we can cast Divine Favor on ourselves at the start of combat using a bonus action, and it will add a 1 to 4 radiant damage, right? So let's enter turn-based mode real quick. We'll cast out with our bonus action, and then we'll go and attack this person. Oh no, let's attack him. Right. So initiative activated. He got to move, and then we get into some combat here. So we're not going to get haste off immediately, which is unfortunate because Gale's all the way back here in the combat order. But we'll show you what we can kind of do with this stuff. So I'm going to, rather than do any damage with anybody else, I'm actually just going to cast Blade Ward on our kid here, and then we'll end our turn. So here's the kind of wacky stuff we can do. So we have Divine Favor already. Let's just get cracking because I think it's worth just showing how much damage we can do. So we don't have our... Oh, we do have our bonus action actually, so that's good. Oh, that's a shame that we missed that. So that's one attack, and we get another attack. He's dead already. I don't know how many... I think that was 2 hits. So that's... You can see how much damage this build pumps out at max level. She's missing a lot, which is kind of unfortunate, but... So that's that. That's Action Surge, why not? And you can see... I mean, we're missing a lot, which is kind of unfortunate here. I think if, you know, next turn, if the combat even gets there, we'll end up casting Bless with Shadowheart as well. The other thing that you can do with this build in order to add even more damage to it is actually to fly as often as you can. If you cast fly with yourself or on yourself as Githyanki with those boots, you get an extra bit of psychic damage too. Can we Misty Step up there, you reckon? I actually want to see this. You can, wow. Well, that's awesome. I mean, we can kind of just do that now. Okay, this is where shit's gonna get real weird, boys. Oh, concentration broken. That's just annoying. Come on, guys. I'm trying to show off a build here. Jesus. Where's he going, bro? What is Blood doing? Okay, then. Here we go. I don't even know what I really want to do here. I'm going to use my action on that again. I actually just straight up want to, like, not do any damage with my main character here because I want to show off this. So again, we still got Divine Favor up. We're doing a ton of damage. Let's go. He's nearly done. Bang. 1, 2. Missed. 3. 4. 5. 6. Critical. And we would even have, if we still had our bonus action, which I actually honestly can't even remember why I used it on this turn. If I still had it, I'd get a great Weapon Master attack as well. Like, what the fuck, guys? Hello everybody, Editing Jake here. I was watching this footage back and noticed, just like you may, how confused I was about where my bonus action attacks were going. Why can't I choose to do my War Priest charges? Turns out, and I only really realised this while recording this video and recording the footage for the combat, the Cleric War Priest extra attack charges are automatically used up and will use your bonus action first before you do any normal attacks. It just automatically uses your bonus action as the attack first. That really sucks. I've gone into game and it's not a reaction that you can toggle. It's really a shame. Really, really a shame. This, for me, should be priority number 1 for Larian to fix, because this is it's just kind of silly that you can do all of the other reaction things, but you can't toggle that with Cleric. So yeah, Larian, please fix that, because that really sucks. I think this build still makes sense, personally. It's definitely less good now, because you are essentially never going to get use of that free bonus action attack that you get with Great Weapon Master, which is a real shame that I realised that while making this video. I'll still edit and release it for you guys, because I still think it's got some useful information in here, but yeah, it's a real damn shame that that works the way it does, and it just kind of doesn't make sense, because it seems to work quite different than any other ability in the game that you can't toggle it off and it just uses it. It seems really dumb. So yeah, hopefully Larian fixes that. Let's just get back to the video for now. Oh boy. And then just a riposte crit. Bang. How much fucking damage was that? God damn it. That's 64 damage in one hit with a crit. Jesus Christ. 35 damage on a normal hit. And we get 6 of those while we're hasted, boys. 6 of them. That's just absurd. But you can see, this build is absurd. It's just throws out an enormous amount of attacks. It does a ton of damage. It's a lot of fun, and it feels really on brand for lae'zel. I highly recommend you give it a go. I don't think, if we're staying thematically appropriate for lae'zel, you know, melee fighter, in the thick of it, doing melee attacks, I don't think there's another build you could do that is better and thematically appropriate. Now, one disclaimer. There's one disclaimer I have here. If Larian fix the polearm master feat so that the bonus action attack that you get with your polearm adds damage that you get from the great weapon master feat, that is better than this build, I think. You can use the bonus action attack every fight. You always get the damage bonus from Great Weapon Master. That's the thing that's kind of done in D&D 5e. But currently, that does not work. That does not work like it does in D&D, and that bonus action attack does not get the damage from Great Weapon Master. If they fix that, then don't do this. Go fighter 12, and with that last level, get the feat for Polearm Master, and then start using the Polearm instead, because that combination is frankly just amazing. And that there's no reason to not go fighter 12. And I think if you're a melee fighter, you just get those 2 feats, go all the way to fighter 12, do 3 attacks in a turn, get hasted, do 6 attacks in a turn, maybe 7 if you get a crit or a KO, and then you can do an extra attack anyway, like an extra full attack with your bonus action. And anyway, even if you don't do that, you're still getting the bonus action attack. So yeah, that build is better then. But for now, I think this is the best build that you can do for lae'zel. And like I said, I think this is thematically appropriate as well. In a bigger fight, you'll get to make better use of Sanctuary. You can also use your bonus action to cast Shield of Faith on somebody if that's required. Basically, this build is very much sort of, you get so many more options. You know, as a fighter, you learn very quickly that your turns in combat as a fighter are very much sort of, oh, I attack, and then you roll some dice, and you attack again, and you roll some dice, and you attack again, and you roll some dice, and it gets kind of like samey. And this build kind of fixes that, because you get options. You can, if you want to attack with your bonus action, you can do that, and then if you don't, you have all these other things you can do. I think it's a wonderful build. I think it's a lot of fun. Like I said at the beginning, this might not necessarily be mechanically the best. I think that's up for debate. I would disagree. I think this mechanically is one of the best, if not the best build for lae'zel. But if you disagree, that's fine, because at the end of the day, I think this is more fun and interesting than just going fighter 12. So, you know, we can philosophically disagree on that if you like in the comments down below. Please go ahead and tell me how wrong I am. Other than that, please like the video, I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you'd consider subscribing to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. The subscriber growth on the channel has been insane recently. I've really been loving the love that you guys have been giving me. I checked the statistics for how many people are subscribed to the channel, and the stats are actually pretty mad. Like 99% of people that watch my content are not subscribed to the channel. So if you're one of those people that is not subscribed and you enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. I keep saying every single video I put out, I'm going to get the video edited for the first episode of the Jack of all trades tactician run from stream, and I keep not doing it and putting out a different video instead. I'm very sorry. I just keep thinking of builds and I want to do a video on them, so that's just the crack. I intend to get that edited and up on Monday. So, like I said, get subscribed, hit the notification bell, check the check the channel on Monday. Although, while I'm at it, I stream here on YouTube as well, so that's another reason to get subscribed and hit the noti bell. So, yeah. Other than all of that, that's my spiel done. Other than that, enjoy your day, and yeah. Have fun with Baldurs Gate 3, everybody. Bye-bye.